Welcome back to Andy Can Help Live. I'm Andy, and today we're talking about one of the most crucial pages of your website, your homepage. Think of your homepage as the welcome mat to your digital business. Just like you wouldn't leave guests standing on your doorstep wondering if they're in the right place, your homepage needs to immediately orient visitors to invite them in. In the next 15 minutes, we'll cover the essential structure and goals of a successful homepage, dive into design and copywriting best practices, and explore how strategic linking can turn your homepage into a powerful customer journey catalyst. Whether you're launching a new site or refreshing an existing one, this episode will give you a clear roadmap for creating a homepage that actually converts visitors into customers. Without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start with the 5-second rule. Your homepage has exactly 5 seconds to answer these 3 critical questions to every visitor. Number 1, what do you do? Number 2, how does it help me? And number 3, what should I do next? If visitors can't quickly understand these 3 things, they'll hit the back button faster than you can say bounce rate. And that's where you're going to have to measure it too, because they're going to bounce right off of your site. Next, let's talk a little bit about essential homepage elements, going from top to bottom. First, we're going to talk about the section that we refer to as being above the fold. This refers back to the old days when we had newspapers where you would look at the content that was above the fold of the newspaper, indicating that it was the most important story of the day. So, what visitors see without scrolling is what happens above the fold. And this is where you need to have a clear value proposition, which would be a sentence that explains what you do and why it matters. You need a compelling headline that hooks them with a benefit, not just, features that can just be quickly read, but this needs to be something that can be quickly relayed to them, or they can understand, okay, this is a benefit to me. A supporting sub-headline that can add context and clarity. A primary call to action, which would be one clear next step, not 5 different buttons. So it would just be like, book now, call us, directions to the site, or directions to your storefront. And then a hero image or video that is visual, that supports your message, but doesn't distract and pull away from those central themes. The middle section of your website is going to be just a little bit of scrolling. This will have where your social proof will be. This is where you have customer logos, testimonials, impressive numbers that you pulled in, reviews. This is where you have things like your problem-solution alignment, so you briefly acknowledge pain points and position your solution. This is where you draw out key benefits of your services, your products, 3 to 4 main benefits with supporting visuals. Or you can also have like a secondary call to action, which is different from your primary action. This may be where you are like calling for events, or maybe a learning section of your website, as opposed to the more central content or commerce section. And then lastly, you have your bottom section, which has a brief about section that links into your about page. You have your social proof that would be additional testimonials or case study previews. You have your final call to action, which brings you back up to like your main theme, which would be your buy now, or bringing you into your product page before they potentially leave. And then lastly, you'll have some trust signals. So this might be where you have security badges, guarantees, your contact information, really what helps underscore that your site can be trusted. The 2 primary goals of your site should always be accomplished in that homepage. Those 2 things would be converting ready-to-buy visitors immediately, which would be your primary call to action. You don't want to waste any time. You want to get them where they want to be in order to convert. But then you also want to be able to nurture not quite ready visitors through valuable content and relationship building. Next, let's talk about some design and copywriting best practices. These are going to be design principles that are designed really and engineered to convert on your website. So what you want to consider first is your visual hierarchy. Your eye should flow naturally from the most important to the least important visual elements, using size, color, and white space to guide attention. Your primary call to action should be the most visually prominent element on the page. Utilize the F pattern. Web users scan in an F-shaped pattern, so people look at the top of your page, going from left to right, and then from there they'll look at the left side of the page and go top to bottom. Place your most important information along this natural leading path. Make sure to follow a mobile-first design. Over 60% of web traffic nowadays is mobile, so design for small screens first and then scale up. This forces you to prioritize only the most essential elements, but also starting your user interface and user design from a mobile first perspective, so that way you're always looking at, okay, my customers are coming in using their iPhones or their Android phones, not usually a desktop, so I need to optimize for that. And that also helps with this next point, which would be loading speed. Every second of delay reduces conversions by about 7%. Optimize your images, minimize plugins, and test your load times regularly to make sure that you're not having an unnaturally high bounce rate due to your load times. Next, let's talk a little bit about your copywriting. Make sure that you're leading your copyright with benefits, not features. So rather than starting off with saying that we offer advanced CRM integration with automated workflow capabilities, ooh, flashy, wonderful, not really that helpful for converting. Try something more along the lines of spend less time on paperwork and more time with customers. This is more connecting with your buyer and your stakeholder. That's more of something that they can connect with and see the benefit of it by the end of their day, rather than just a bunch of flashy corporate jargon. You're going to want to use your customer's language. Write how your customers talk, not like how your industry talks. If they say cheap, don't say cost effective. If they say fast, don't say expedient. You want to make sure that you're not losing your message in the language. Create urgency without being pushy. Using language like limited spots are available, or join 10,000 plus others who have already joined, or get started in under 5 minutes. These are very quick but easy things that allow your viewer to understand, okay, this doesn't take much on my part, but I can start getting benefits almost immediately. And then, let's do a clarity test. Read your homepage copy to somebody unfamiliar with your business. If they can't immediately explain what you do and why they should care, you need to be rewriting that. It's not understood. Some common mistakes to avoid. The jargon trap. Industry speak kills conversions. You need to make sure that everybody can understand what your website is trying to get across. Weak calls to action. Learn more is really weak. Get my free quote is a lot stronger. And then auto-playing videos. Unless it's silent, don't do it. You'd rather have that click be something that a customer has option to do rather than a distracting away from the call to action. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your linking strategy. We're going to start first with internal linking strategy, which that would be referring to links that go through your website, not necessarily into or outside of your website yet. We'll talk about that next. First, we have contextual links. These are links to relevant pages that are naturally within your content. If you mention a service, link to that service page. If you reference a case study, link to the full story. Then you have navigation hierarchy. Your main navigation should lead to your most important pages. Limit it to 5 to 7 main categories to avoid overwhelming your visitors. Follow a hub and spoke model. Your home page is the hub. Each main page is a spoke that should link back to relevant pages and ultimately guide visitors toward conversion. As you're thinking towards your external practices and you're linking into your website, think about the landing pages that you're going to draw your customers in with, and then how those link back into your homepage to guide them into different parts of your website where they might want to go. That leads us to our external linking best practices. First, you want to do some authority building. Link to reputable sources when you reference statistics or studies. This builds trust and credibility. Partner integration. If you have partners or use well-known tools, link to them. This improves SEO and user confidence. This also can be relevant to products that use manufacturers, partner distributors. Linking to those different distributors or brands that you partner with will bolster your authority. And then lastly, social proof expansion. So link to your social media profiles, but make sure that they're active and professional first. You're going to want to lead with your most active profiles that are getting the most engagement, but also don't forget about your other ones and make sure that you're trying to build those as well. And then also think about your SEO benefits of smart linking. So link distribution. Internal links help search engines understand your site structure and distribute page authority. This helps to reduce your bounce rate, and strategic internal linking keeps visitors on your site for longer. Improved user experience. Easy navigation increases the likelihood of conversion. And here's some things not to do with linking. Don't link to your competitors. Seems, should go without saying, but you may try to think of this as a way to, bluff, but there's no point to doing it this way. Avoid linking to outdated or irrelevant content. Keep things fresh. Google's looking for the most relevant content to make sure that you are, not serving up stale things to customers. Don't overwhelm pages with too many links. I would say keep it to 1 to 2 links every couple of paragraphs for a blog post. Don't make it too dense. And then never link to anything that takes visitors away from your conversion goals unless absolutely necessary. Like if you need to link away to like a law, then, that's important, that needs to be linked to. But otherwise, try to keep them on the path that you're designing for them. Let's put it all together. When you're looking at your homepage, let's keep this checklist in mind. You're going to want to make sure that you have a clear value proposition within 5 seconds. You're going to want a single, prominent primary call to action. You're going to want mobile optimized design. Customer-focused copy. So remember, that's benefits over features. You're going to want strategic internal linking to guide the customer journey. Social proof and trust signals. And fast loading speed. If you have those elements together as far as your homepage and the first impression that you're giving your customers, you're setting them up very well to find the information that they want and be able to convert in a way that you're wanting them to convert. I want you to adopt a continuous mindset and a continuous improvement mindset. Your homepage isn't a set it and forget it asset. Test different headlines, calls to actions, and layouts. Use analytics to see where your visitors are dropping off and make data-driven improvements. Remember, your homepage is often the first impression potential customers have of your business. Make it count. Don't forget that there are professionals in your field that you can rely on and ask for help to better understand search engine optimization and structuring your homepage. There are folks like me that are in this profession that you can talk to, and we can set up with a consultation and help you to better structure and set up your homepage. That's a wrap on today's episode on Andy Can Help Live. Your homepage is your digital storefront's welcome mat. Make sure it's inviting, clear, and leads visitors exactly where you want them to go. If this episode helped you see your homepage in a new light, I'd love to hear about it. Share your before and after results or questions in the comments. Today's theme music is brought to you by Obnoxious. You can find their work on Spotify and other major streaming services by searching ABNOXIX to find their music. You can find me at Andy Can Help on Blue Sky and more topics at andycanhelp.com. Until next time, keep helping your customers find exactly what they need. Thanks for listening.